Who's God to you?
Yeah, we'll start. Are we started?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So who's God to me? When I went to the monastery, I was to be with Merton live, sitting there. I thought I saw him as a living saint.
And you guys were on the same bowling team or something?
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
No, but you lived there, right?
And one of the very first talks he was talking about creation, and this is like the contemplative lineage of creation. He said, the opening words of Torah, the opening words of Genesis, in the beginning, God said. So in the beginning, let there be light, let there be stones and trees and stars and all of this. He says, real helpful to realize that God just didn't set everything in motion, then go off to let the world get by on its own as best it could. He said, creation is going on all the time. Creation is absolute and perpetual. We're being created right now. And so the mystery of creation, here's how I put it poetically, this way. Ultimately speaking, just one thing is happening. The infinite presence of God is presencing itself. That is, it's pouring itself out and giving itself away in and as the gift and the miracle of the immediacy of our very presence, the presence of others in all things, in our communal nothingness without God. Sometimes what happens is that God beyond us passes right through our reflective self into God within, like a shooting star. And simultaneously, God within us passes right through the interiority of ourself into God beyond us, like a shooting star. And for a fleeting moment, we're transfixed between God within and God without, except there's no between.
There's no separateness?
There's no separateness.
Just to feel separate all the time.
Well, and that's because we feel separate all the time. You're saying about talks like this, we're taking on reality, you know. Mm-hmm. But that's okay, huh? We won't be intimidated.
We can't sell reality, Jim.
Yeah, we can't.
We need to give people some hope.
No, let me put it another way.
Why?
I'm saying a lot of things, and each thing I'm saying deserves reflection and dialogue. But I'm trying to create a big picture, so if you get the tonal quality of the whole thing, you get a sense, like a felt sense, like it's like symphony. It's like listening to music. It's too self-evident to explain. It's too deep to comprehend. God is the presence that protects us from nothing, even as God unexplainably sustains us in all things. See, that I'm not exempt from the suffering of the world. Thomas Merton once said, "What is the world? Where is it?" He said, "It's within us. We are the world." Oh no, we'll go there. Let's go there and we'll swing back to this.
Yeah, cool.
You know what's interesting with Thomas Merton, when I was with him, guiding me one-on-one, is I look back at it.
Just a side note, this is like in the morning after you like hung out with some pigs?
Yeah, it would be, I saw him every other week for an hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for 3 years. That to live a deeply contemplative life is not necessary to live in the monastic life that nurtures it. That you can learn out here. Hear that pigeon out there cooing? They're building a nest behind the flowers there on my porch. It's pretty nice. That you, out in the midst of the world, you can find that place within yourself. And that place is the tonal quality of our dialogue right here. The felt sense of this dialogue is that place. We tend to think that the birth, that the Annunciation to Mary, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, that the birth of Jesus, the life of Jesus, the suffering of Jesus, the death of Jesus, and the resurrection of Jesus, we tend to think of them like as a story unfolding. And in the way they're presented, because we experience our life as a story. But what if all those aspects of Jesus' life are collapsed as the true nature of the present moment? But what if every moment is an annunciation, an announcement of a birth? And what if every moment is a birthing to the virginal newness of now, the newness of the present moment, which can only come about through the death of the moment that just was? When you hear talk like this, to the extent it poetically speaks to you, it's already begun. Otherwise, this would just be double talk, and it isn't. Notice I'm not defining anything, I'm not explaining anything, I'm bearing witness to the unexplainable divinity of ourselves in the midst of unresolved matters of our minds and hearts. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Jesus is the mystery of love, of incarnate love intimately realized this way, and that's Jesus, I think. Jesus says in the scriptures, you have eyes to see, but you do not see. There's your God-given capacity to see the God-given godly nature, the immediacy of yourself and of all things, and you don't see it.
To see the immediacy of what?
Of yourself, others, and of all things. The sun going across the sky, the passage of time, the sound of the rain, the smell of a flower, standing up and sitting down. It's of the generosity of God being poured out and given to you as your life in your nothingness with God. And he said, you don't see it. This is the source of all your sorrow. This is the source of all your fear. This is the source of all the traumatizing things you do to yourself, to others, and to the earth. And so the prayer is, Lord, that I might see. There's something childlike about this. There really is. About this encounter, the way we're talking, and the shared sincerity that we're talking. And we kind of sense that the people who watch this will be touched, and a childlike center in them will be awakened. Something, and that's how it really happens. It happens in the author. You don't think ahead, how do I do this? How do I do this? You look at moments where the curtain parts and it's occurring. We stammer. It's not explainable. It's like the incomprehensible stature standing up and sitting down, you know, and the divinity that shines forth out of broken places, and nothing's missing any. It's like that, you know. What's so wonderful about your questions, none of them are answerable. That's what's so brilliant about it. And therefore it lures us into a dialogue of bearing witness to the divinity of the immediacy of life itself that can't be explained.
On-ramps to music,
Yeah, and then hopefully then something comes shining out of the dialogue. And what shines out from the dialogue is the teaching.
Versus
Yeah.
which is sometimes the church.
That's right. That's my sense of it. Yeah.